It was January 3rd, 2023, my first day at Northampton High School. I was so excited. I could barely sleep that night thinking about all this 900 students I was going to meet. Would they like me? Would they respect me? Would they think I looked like the principal in the Breakfast Club?
I like him. Seems pretty smart, seems pretty straightforward. He does kind of look like the principal from Breakfast Club. I kind of see the similarity. Like in the face.
First block went well, made it through Mentor Monday on Tuesday. What's that about? Got to the lunch block, 4 lunch waves. Made it all the way through lunch. I was starving. Went back up to the main office, opened the refrigerator to get my sandwich, and it was gone. So what could I do? It had to be an all-points bulletin and an investigation. I called everyone and started the search. We had to find the sandwich.
Hello, my name is Diane Zamer. I'm the head detective. Immediately, I was on the case. All the facts pointed to the sandwich was stolen between first block and lunch. It just doesn't make sense. Who stole the sandwich? Who stole the sandwich? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There was no sandwich.
So when I walked in this morning, I also saw Mr. Worley right behind me, and I didn't see him have a sandwich in his hand. I didn't see him have a sandwich in his hand. I didn't see him have it in a bag or anything like that, so I think, honestly, I think he's lying. I think he's not telling the truth about bringing a sandwich today.
Have you heard the rumor that you actually never brought a sandwich in?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have an eyewitness.
Wait, this interview's over. I've got a meeting.
Hi, I'm Josephine Hopkins.
And I'm Angela Kim.
And welcome to the Transcript.
This week, Hotspots is back to take a look at groundings. Hamped Up investigates the East Hampton hockey team, Streets gets the public opinion on the House Speaker, and Takeaways goes to the brewery.
We will now elect Speaker of the Transcript. Would anybody wish to nominate themselves or another party?
Good morning. I would like to nominate myself, Levi James Stankiewicz Armstrong, for the role of Speaker of the Transcript. Boo! 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 As my dear friend and colleague Andreas Auer described me, a true leader who walks with the past and knows what he's doing. And I will use that system in this very legendary chamber. I am an effective leader, and I know what I'm doing. Thank you.
I would like to nominate myself, Noel Buzansky, as Speaker of the Transcript because I am the true authoritarian and we need more women in politics.
Hooray! 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 We will now vote. Cast your ballot for Mr. Armstrong or Miss Buzansky.
You do this because of the January 6th thing that you were involved in. That disqualified you.
The courts are out on that. We're still in session.
According to the votes, Ms. Buzansky is elected Speaker of the Transcript.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Stolen election!
This is taking it to the streets. Last week, the American legislative branch was put on a halt due to the disagreements within the Republican Party. After 15 votes, former House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy has been elected Speaker of the House. However, it was a stressful 3 days, as a growing amount of conservative House members didn't think that Representative McCarthy is the right person to lead Congress. Meanwhile, the Democrats have routinely nominated House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. This week, we hit the streets of downtown Northampton to interview people about their thoughts on the Speaker of the House.
What were your thoughts on all the chaos electing a Speaker of the House?
I mean, to be honest, it was pretty entertaining. I don't really like Kevin McCarthy very much, so it was kind of funny to just watch him lose.
Were you concerned at all for Congress not being in session or anything like that?
Like Congress not being able to function because it was just chaotic. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to see much out of this Congress with the split House and Senate and presidency. So I didn't see it to be more obstructionist than I imagine this entire session's going to be.
So this is the first time in 100 years it's taken more than one vote to elect a Speaker of the House. Why do you think that is?
I think we have a big divide in this country, and especially with the Republican Party. A lot of people aren't on the same base, and I think what just transpired within the last week or two goes to show you how divided this country is. And I think it was time for a change, but a lot of times people are afraid to make change because they're afraid of the backlash that will happen.
So with the kind of chaotic beginning to this session of Congress, do you think the rest of this Congress is going to be kind of hectic?
I think the issue currently is that it's difficult to imagine it not being chaotic with the current structure of the political spectrum, right? So the minority caucus that did cause such a stir, they're not going away, and in fact they're probably going to get their committee positions back. So I struggle to imagine that we're not going to do the exact same thing over again where they lose their committee seats again because they caused the same amount of trouble that they did last time.
Some of the other Republicans who received votes for Speaker of the House include Representative Jim Jordan, Rep. Brian Donalds, and even former President Donald Trump. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This week, Hotspots visits Groundings, a local metaphysical shop in downtown Florence. Groundings offers a variety of items to fit everyone's needs, from gemstone and crystal massages to local artisan jewelry. We talked to Groundings owner Lauren Picosa to get a better understanding of what the shop is all about.
Groundings opened in 2014, February 2nd, so it'll be 9 years on February 2nd. Everyone always seems to have a really positive experience when coming in, and the events are always open to everyone, all walks of life, and everyone just seems always really happy after they leave. Groundings impacts the community by being a positive light for them, just bringing positive energy to the space. My goals for the shop in 2023 are to expand more events, welcome the community in more, and bring even more products to the community.
Thanks for watching. If any of the items at Groundings interest you, stop by at 7 Main Street, Florence between 10 and 4, or check out their website at Groundings Metaphysical Shop. See you next week.
Yeah, okay, I got this. Welcome to Hamped Up.
The East Hampton Eagles hockey team are on a 5-2 win streak, and they're doing very well this season. However, there is an added challenge due to the fact that they have players from 4 schools. We spoke to varsity captain Peter Sullivan and other Eagles players to learn about how having players from different schools affects team chemistry.
I'd say
from the 4 different schools, most of the kids all play on the same exact team. Most of the same exact teams, and the higher developed players play like especially like club. So there's skill gap, but not big like, and there's skill gap and chemistry that is all like together. But besides that, there's not really anything that hits a roadblock. You know what I mean?
Playing for a joint team hasn't really affected me so much. The only big difference is that I have to drive 25 minutes there and from the rink. But besides that, not too much.
With having players from 4 different schools on the team, it can definitely affect the chemistry between teammates on the team. But I think in the Eagles hockey team, we're all like friends with each other. We have a really good team mentality, good chemistry with each other. We've all been playing hockey with each other for a long time. So I don't think that really affects our team chemistry as much as you would think.
What really caused this 5-game win streak was especially just the team and the chemistry and how everyone was playing at such a great pace. They were able to move the puck really efficiently and were able to score a lot of goals, I'd say, like at least 6 per game. So yeah.
Play hockey at NHS or EHS, I would say you got to come with a strong work ethic because we're practicing every single day for more than 2.5 hours. Games on weekends, games during the week. It's a grind, but if you're there for it, you're ready for it.
Thanks so much for watching. See you next week when we dive into the pool.
This year, Martin Luther King Jr. Day falls on Monday, January 16th. The day became a federal holiday in 1983, but was made a government holiday in all 50 states in 2000. The holiday commemorates and honors the civil rights movement and one of its most prominent leaders, Martin Luther King Jr. This week, we interviewed a professor as well as students to learn more about how the holiday remains important years after the civil rights movement.
Martin Luther King Day represents an opportunity for our nation to come together and celebrate the ideals of Martin Luther King Jr., which include equal justice, social justice, and of course racial equality. When Martin Luther King Day became a federal holiday, it was a very kind of critical moment in our history for a few reasons. One, the civil rights movement, sort of Black Power era, were in decline in some ways. And, almost a decade and a little bit after King's assassination, it was an opportunity for the entire nation to really recognize the transformative role that the movement had, not just on the United States, but the entire world.
I think that learning about U.S. history is really vital to our society. My hope is that Martin Luther King Day will become more of a way to connect back to that history and say, hey, it hasn't been that much time, and there are still so many issues that we need to be working on. MLK Day is about not only honoring Dr. King's legacy, but also passing the torch and living it out ourselves. I think now especially sometimes MLK Day can be kind of implying that we're in a post-racial era, but I think that it's important to understand that the issues he addressed still apply now. You can't define the experience for the entire community, so I think that MLK Day is different for everyone. For some people it's inspiring, and for some people it's empowering, and I think that everyone has a different emotional connection to it. It can be painful because there's a lot of trauma from that part of history in our country. I think learning about Dr. King's strategies and the way he communicated is really helpful because it was really effective, and I think really using that and taking from those strategies in any form of protesting or making change honors his legacy. Students of Color Alliance here at NHS is a place where we support students of color and their experiences, and we also focus on activism and creating change. So people can come to SOCA and get involved through that.
Thanks for watching. To learn more about Martin Luther King Jr.'s work and legacy, visit the website of the King Research and Education Institute at Stanford below. See you next time and have a great MLK Day.
week we are at the brewery. We just said hi to our friends Colin and John. Good vibes today.
I say we start with the nachos. You want to start with the nachos?
Parker, I say we start with the nachos.
Okay, good idea. That's a good nacho.
I would agree with you on that statement.
Alright, so we both got burgers. I got the volcano burger, I think it was what it was called. It has bacon, jalapenos, volcano sauce, I think it was called. And that might be it. Got some good stuff on there. I'm ready to dig into this. I'll give the appearance 9 out of 10 again. It looks great. I'm excited to eat. What about you?
Well, I was a little careless with my ordering. I didn't realize it had mushrooms on it. I could have ordered without mushrooms. I personally don't like mushrooms, but
Mushroom hater.
Mushroom hater. But the rest of it looks pretty solid. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Let's dig in. If I could say if this was certified smacking or not, I would say this is certified smacking. So for taste of the burger, it's delectable. I'm at a loss for words. It's that good. It's just really good. So I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. A fun fact about the brewery is that they actually brew their own beer here at the restaurant. They have big kegs and brewing machines over to the side near the dining area. And I just think that's very interesting that they do all their beer brewing in-house and not in a factory somewhere. And they've been doing that for over 34 years. They opened in 1987. I think it's very interesting.
Both our burgers, $16. Honestly, I don't think that's a terrible price, but I also think it's kind of up there. It's a little expensive, a little pricey. But I mean, everything nowadays is pricey, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for the price.
I swear I live every broken bone. I swear I did it all. I did it
Thanks so much for watching. The Winter Formal is on Saturday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Tickets can be purchased in the cafeteria or Wednesday before school at the bus loop. And we will also be selling at the door. Have a good weekend.